wrdw.com/sketchthesky for more details. Sponsored by Hobbytown Augusta.
'Tis the season to put a smile on a child's face.
It's the Marine Corps Toys for Tots Drive, and News 12 is proud to be an official drop-off location.
Drop off a new unwrapped toy at our studios during normal business hours.
Make a child's holiday brighter with News 12 and Toys for Tots.
I'm here for you.
Live from Augusta, you're watching News 12 live at 5.
Family and friends gathering in Thompson tonight, bound together by unimaginable loss. Jonathan Johnson was just 14 years old when he was shot in the head last month. In the week since his death, 5 other teenagers have been arrested.
They face a variety of charges, including felony murder and gang charges.
Live at 5, our Sydney Hood is at Thompson McDuffie High School. Sydney, how are Johnson's family honoring his memory tonight?
Well, a bunch of his family and friends were just out here outside of the middle school to honor him with a balloon release. We saw a lot of black and red balloons go up into the air to Jonathan. Those were 2 of his favorite colors. And then they did a little remembrance of him on the Spirit Rock out here. It's kind of hard to see, but it says, "We love you, John Johnson." John was one of his many nicknames. Another one of his nicknames that people knew him by was Tank. And I got to tell y'all a little funny story that his mom told me earlier today, that Tank comes from people picking at him because he had such a big forehead, but she lovingly referred to him saying that he had a big head because he was so smart. He was an honor student, I was heard. But I gotta say, all of the people that were out here today, they chose to honor him with laughter, because that's what Jonathan did for them. He made them laugh, and you could just see by all the people, this whole area right here was filled with people. So that just goes to show you how many lives he touched in just short 14 years of life. His mom was telling me that you look at his smile, and it was one of those smiles that made you smile, and that's one of the things that she's holding on to closest right now. She even told me earlier that every time she would text him saying, "Jonathan, I love you," he would text her back saying, "Mom, I loved you more."
Jonathan was vibrant. Every time you seen him, he was smiling. He was happy, caring, loving. And I would say, out of all the cousins, he was everybody's favorite.
He certainly was the favorite. I mean, seriously, everyone out here had a Jonathan story to share. So, I mean, I've never met Jonathan before, but after talking with all these folks out here, I feel like I knew him, what his personality was like, how vibrant of a laugh he had, the kind of athlete and student he was. And coming up all new tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we'll have more on who Jonathan Johnson was and how many lives he impacted at just 14 years old.
And just with that report, I feel like I know Jonathan too. What a great nickname for him and memory for him as well. That community has been through so much down there.
They really have. They've lost so many students, and they've really just come together. That Spirit Rock has been painted too many times for sad things this year. Thanks, Sydney.
Weather-wise this afternoon, it has been a little bit smoky across the area. This is all thanks to a few controlled burns happening, mainly across some of our western Georgia counties in the region. So our southwest wind just brought a little bit of smoke into Augusta. So if you've been outside today, you've likely noticed that. But as we continue into later tonight, we're actually going to bring in a few more clouds. We do have high pressure just kind of sitting to our south. So that's just bringing us just this flow that's going to bring us just a few high clouds into tonight, but generally clear over the next couple of hours. Beautiful look from our Aiken County weather stem camera here. Looking at sunset happening just in about the next 20 minutes or so. We're currently at 53 degrees, so it was a cool afternoon. Most spots did stay in the 50s today, and we are going to see those temperatures cool off close to freezing tonight. Most likely not as cold as last night, but it is going to be chilly. Here's looking at current temps at other places across the region. We're at 56 in Saluda, same thing at Bushfield and Aiken, just a little bit warmer in Evans, currently at 58. Taking a more zoomed in view across the metro, 55 there at Daniel Field and 59 right at the Welcome Center. Center, just a little bit down the road from us. We do have another pass to the space station tonight. This one is going to be a little bit lower than the one earlier this week, so you do have to have a good vantage point of the northern and the western sky mainly. You're just going to start in the west-northwest and just gradually move out in the southern sky. Good viewing for it, nonetheless. We just have a few of these high-level clouds, and just make sure you have a good view around 6:30. Have an update on the weekend for you just a bit. Let's get a quick update on your First Alert traffic.
And now, First Alert traffic.
All right, here we go. Looking outside of our building, looking at I-20 Riverwatch Parkway, and you can see definitely some hazy, smoky conditions here near the state line. And we are looking at slow-moving traffic in this eastbound lane. So a heads up if you are heading near the state line towards the river. There's a little bit of a slowdown. Going out to Grovetown next, we actually did have a decent slowdown I-20 right here near exit 190 earlier this afternoon. Looks like that has cleared up a good bit in Lewiston Road, not overly busy. Have an update on some rain moving in for late into the weekend in just about 10 minutes.
Thanks, Riley. We're learning more about the gunman who killed 3 people and critically wounded a 4th at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Now, it was at around noon yesterday that students were alerted that there was an active shooter on the college campus. About 40 minutes after the chaos began, law enforcement confirmed the shooter was killed after a confrontation with police. He's now been identified as a 67-year-old professor. One possible theory is he applied for a job at UNLV but did not get it. The University of Georgia now confirms that the gunman got his PhD at the school in 2002. At this time, the victims have not been identified. Now, in the wake of this most recent mass shooting, Georgia Congressman Hank Johnson introduced the House version of the Gun Violence Prevention and Community Safety Act. It seeks to ban bulk gun purchases, require universal background checks, and raise the minimum age for gun and ammunition purchases to 21. Since 2013, there have been more than 160 mass shootings in Georgia. That includes one right here in Augusta earlier this year where 2 people were killed and 4 were injured in a shootout between 2 rival motorcycle groups.
Could a new jail solve Fulton County's problems? As county leaders discuss the possibilities of a new jail, some are saying it's not the correct approach. Over the past year, 10 inmates have died within the walls of the Fulton County Jail. Reports show the building itself is crumbling and is overcrowded. The county is currently considering a new $1.75 billion jail to replace the current one, but the soonest it could be ready is 2029. Advocates say something needs to be done now to address the issues inside the jail.
Right now, people dying in our jails, that's radical. You know what's radical? Using $2 billion to do something that we know has not worked already.
There are also concerns over putting a strain on Fulton County taxpayers because they'd be the ones footing the bill through a sales tax or millage rate increase.
A new development in the case of a missing South Carolina boater last seen nearly a year ago. Back in January, 22-year-old Tyler Doyle was last seen going duck hunting in Horry County. SADNR says Doyle was putting out duck decoys when the seas became too rough. The boat began taking on water and drifted into the Atlantic Ocean. 911 calls detail a friend of Doyle's seeing the man drifting into the ocean. 5 days after he was last seen, Doyle's belongings were found off the North Carolina coast. DNR ruled Doyle's disappearance as a hunting and boating accident with no signs of foul play. But now, SLED is getting involved in this investigation. DNR says this is because there have been unsubstantiated sightings of Doyle and has enlisted SLED to explore him as a missing person.
Data shows more kids in South Carolina are experiencing mental health challenges like depression and anxiety than they have in the past.
Now a new partnership will allow mental health professionals to reach over 100,000 students at a place they go every day, after-school programs. Our State House reporter Mary Green has the details.
The new year will bring this new initiative from the South Carolina Department of Mental Health and the South Carolina After School Alliance.
This partnership allows us to expand support systems in environments where young people already spend time. Tapping into the after school helps improve access to mental health care where it's most needed.
Through the program, staff at more than 1,700 after-school programs across the state will be offered training in mental health first aid and trauma-informed care. These staff will also serve as liaisons between the Department of Mental Health and families to let them know what help is available and make potential referrals. They hope it not only expands awareness and access to resources, but reduces the stigma around receiving mental health help. It'll begin as a pilot next spring in Florence, Darlington, and Marion counties, with the goal to expand to other parts of the state from there.
Oftentimes we get involved when it's downstream. And what can we do upstream to prevent them from ever getting downstream, where there's lots, it's so much more complicated.
This program will be funded through a 3-year grant from the Mott Foundation. The Department of Mental Health believes it's realistic for this program to be implemented in every county by the time that grant is up. Reporting Columbia, I'm Mary Green.
If your child is struggling, the Department of Mental Health encourages families to reach out for help. There is a free online screening tool available. The website is right there on your screen, and it will also be listed on our website, wrdw.com, and our app. Parents and guardians, you can anonymously take a self-check questionnaire on behalf of your child and get connected with guidance and resources to get mental and behavioral health services for youth.
Still ahead, a local counseling center needs your help to keep their doors open. We'll break down what's going on coming up next. Riley?
Well, expecting dry weather to stick around Friday and most of Saturday, but rain does look likely by Sunday. We'll have a full look at that forecast coming up.
Diamonds up to $1,700 in value, only on Verizon.
'Tis the season to put a smile on a child's face.
It's the Marine Corps Toys for Tots Drive, and News 12 is proud to be an official drop-off location.
Drop off a new unwrapped toy at our studios during normal business hours.
Make a child's holiday brighter with News 12 and Toys for Tots.
What makes the Eichholz Law Firm different?
For starters, we've served this community for over 45 years.
And we know that every client is unique. We consider you friends, neighbors, and family.
We prove it in the way we fight tirelessly for your justice.
Let the Eichholz Law Firm fight for the justice you deserve.
Foundation problems.
Better when you call my dad.
Welcome back. Here's a look at our thermodam cam looking at sunset, and we actually had a pretty decent view of a controlled burn going up at the lake earlier today. Now that we've lost a little bit of light, not showing up quite as well, but you likely did notice that there was some smoky conditions out there this afternoon. We did have a decent day for some controlled burns, sunshine, just light wind out of the southwest, staying less than 10 miles an hour most of the day. Temperatures did stay pretty chilly out there, only topped out to the 50s for us. If you're heading out this evening, temperatures will be on the cooler side. I would definitely grab a jacket if you're stepping out. Temps in the 40s over the next several hours, and then eventually getting back down close to freezing by daybreak tomorrow morning. I believe we stay away from the 20s, but I think there could be a number of spots that do get down to that 32 mark, especially places like Bushfield. Other locations may stay a degree or two warmer. It is going to be a relatively cold start, though, to your Friday. If you're lucky enough to have a tee time tomorrow, maybe a brief frost delay in a few of our rural golf courses out there, but beautiful afternoon sunshine and high temperatures actually getting into the 60s by tomorrow, so we'll feel better Friday afternoon. Now the weekend, Saturday looks pretty nice still. We're expecting high temps to be in the low 70s, but you can see by Sunday, unfortunately, that's when we're bringing back some decent rain chances and potentially maybe even seeing some thunderstorms with that. That's actually going to be thanks to our next fairly strong cold front just marching across the country. Here's a look at our first alert radar network. So right now we have high pressure on top of us. As this front moves in, that's when our barometric pressure is going to be dropping, and that's when the skies could open up by Sunday. But in a few more clouds will start to show up as we head into late tonight and throughout the day Friday. So tomorrow, not quite as much blue sky as what we saw earlier today. Once we get into Saturday, I would say during the day Saturday, there's not much rain out there for most spots in the CS array. You can see there's rain possibly a little bit north of us and west of us, but as far as us here locally, it does look mostly dry. Temperatures will be warm as well. Heading into Saturday night, you can see there's a potential maybe for some showers to show up before the main front does arrive as we continue throughout the day on Sunday. So now our high resolution in-house model here is now within the time frame of the weekend. So this is what it's expecting heading into our Wednesday afternoon, doing a pretty good job materializing maybe some showers and thunderstorms ahead of this front. And if that timing does line up to where it does hit Sunday afternoon, we may have to monitor that there is a low severe weather threat heading late into the day on Sunday. Sunday. Main concern would be strong straight line winds, but that's going to be a strong front producing a lot of shear. We're going to have a lot of moisture and lift, so that instability factor will be our question mark if we do see severe weather tonight. But rain does look very likely Sunday. It does clear out by early next week, and that's when we get back some cooler temperatures back into the forecast as well. So another quick look at it. Saturday, warm, partly cloudy, mostly dry. The rain should hold out until we get to Saturday night, and then during the day Sunday, we'll have those high rain chances and potentially have to track a few thunderstorms. Next week, we do clear out, though, back to sunshine, cool temps in the 50s by next Monday and Tuesday.
All right, thank you, Riley. The Family Counseling Center serves people of all ages across the CSRA, no matter their ability to pay. But for all the good they do, they're in danger of closing for good.
As our Nick Veland shows us, what this center brings to our community cannot be understated.
These rooms are sanctuaries. My main goal is to kind of provide stabilization, making sure they have a safe place to feel safe about their situations and come and deal with whatever they bring me. From kids.
That you would be shocked with how early suicidal ideation begins. I have clients as young as 7 or 8 expressing suicidal ideation.
To the elderly. The fear of retirement seems to come up. The Family Counseling Center of the CSRA has served anyone who walks in their doors, no matter their insurance or ability to pay.
I'm making sure that they're safe.
The therapists on the front lines do this daily, in the office and out in the community. They're at schools, after-school programs, and are out talking to people experiencing homelessness under the 13th Street Bridge. We humanize the experience. We humanize the mental health crisis, right? Everybody is accepted here, right? It's not about price. It's not about status, but it's about being human. And I think that's what this community needs. The center has seen more than 400 people this year and still have a wait list of 180. Connor Thornton has served 100 kids this year, and funding concerns could shut down the center by 2024. They say this will leave so many with nowhere else to go.
I have some that I've been seeing that for a year now, and I don't want them to have to start over.
Starting over, looking for another place to go, and asking questions. It's a service that a lot of people cannot afford, right? So we're making it affordable. And if we're closing, what is it? What can we do? In Augusta, Nick Veland on your side.
The Family Counseling Center says that they need at least $80,000. If you're interested in donating, there is a flow code right now on your screen that you can scan to learn more. We also have a link on our website to this story at wrdw.com.
You're looking at what could be the future of manufacturing, robot workers. Just ahead, we'll show you how this tech is expanding to the Peach State.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Automotive Group.
Call Ken.
Hey, Anna Christina here, wishing you a very Merry Christmas from Jimmy's Home Furnishings. Everyone deserves to ring in the new year with some restful sleep, so come check out our all-new mattress center and take advantage of year-end clearance specials. We're also offering 3 years of 0% financing on all of our newest inventory. Jimmy and his son Alex want to thank you for your continued support and wish you a happy holiday season. Located just 2 miles off exit 190 in Grovetown, Jimmy's Home Furnishings, where it feels like home.
A Spanx distribution center in Georgia is now using some new tech to speed up production. Over the past week, it's introduced a brand new co-worker to the warehouse floor.
And this one doesn't call in sick like ever. Joshua Skinner takes us there and shows us this new fleet of robotic workers.
This GXO distribution center is on the cutting edge of technology, which is why this facility here in Flowery Branch is the first in the world to use humanoid robots in production.
It's the model worker with an off button.
There's no decision making. This is exactly the same thing all day long.
Its name is Digit, the brainchild of Jonathan Hurst and Agility Robotics.
If someone today, right now, buys something off of the Spanx website, it's going through Digit's handling.
And at GXO Logistics and Spanx's largest distribution center, that's a lot of shapewear.
We're kind of like at that early personal computer moment when computing just became a thing and suddenly became incredibly useful.
Digit is the first ever humanoid robot in a setting like this. GXO Logistics is using it to move Spanx bins.
It's very heavy work, very redundant, repetitive, and something that we thought would be perfect for Digit to take over.
Robots are already ingrained into the fabric of warehouses. Digit? Well, he might be the next step, one that Hearst says is not designed to push people out.
What we're doing is the same thing we've been doing throughout all of history, is creating tools to allow the same number of humans to do more than we've ever been able to do before.
Hearst envisions these bipeds eventually becoming consumer products.
Robots like this are going to be commonplace like phones and cars.
And while unlikely to take over the world or enslave humanity, it will take time to adjust to our new coworkers.
It's very hard worker.
Now, these robots are also being tested at an Amazon research facility. Agility Robotics is working on a production plant that can push out 10,000 of these robots.
A Spanx distribution center in Georgia is now using some new tech to speed up production. Over the past week, it's introduced a brand new coworker to the warehouse floor.
And this one doesn't call in sick like ever. Joshua Skinner takes us there and shows us this new fleet of robotic workers.
This GXO distribution center is on the cutting edge of technology, which is why this facility here in Flowery Branch is the first in the world to use humanoid robots in production.
It's the model worker with an off button.
There's no decision making. This is exactly the same thing all day long.
Its name is Digit, the brainchild of Jonathan Hearst and Agility Robotics.
If someone today, right now, buys something off of the Spanx website, it's going through Digit's handling.
And at GXO Logistics and Spanx's largest distribution center, that's a lot of shapewear.
We're kind of like at that early personal computer moment when computing just became a thing and suddenly became incredibly useful.
Digit is the first ever humanoid robot in a setting like this. GXO Logistics is using it to move Spanx bins.
It's very heavy work, very redundant, repetitive, and something that we thought would be perfect for Digit to take over.
Robots are already ingrained into the fabric of warehouses. Digit? Well, he might be the next step, one that Hearst says is not designed to push people out.
What we're doing is the same thing we've been doing throughout all of history, is creating tools to allow the same number of humans to do more than we've ever been able to do before.
Hearst envisions these bipeds eventually becoming consumer products.
Robots like this are going to be commonplace like phones and cars.
And while unlikely to take over the world or enslave humanity, it will take time to adjust to our new coworkers.
It's very hard worker.
Now, these robots are also being tested at an Amazon research facility. Agility Robotics is working on a production plant that can push out 10,000 of these robots every year.
I don't like how it waved and blinked at me. Nope.
No.
Nope. Just rather have humans do it. I like the conversation better anyways.
I agree.
All right, Riverbank Zoo in Columbia is one step closer to a major expansion. Right now, Richland and Lexington counties are considering granting $80 million in funding to expand the park. It's called the Bridge the Wild project and would include a forest bridge, a multi-purpose facility on the Saluda River, enhanced lion and tiger habitats, and a lot more. All this would lead to a slight tax increase for people in the area. Riverbank says that the investment would have major returns for the region.
We expect this to bring $180 million a year to the Midlands, to residential hotels, restaurants, shopping. We expect our attendance to go up to about 1.6 million a year with this expansion.
Once the counties give final approval for that funding, work will begin. The zoo hopes to break ground next year. Riley?
Hey, well, nice weather over the next couple of days if you want to head up to Columbia to the Riverbank Zoo. Temps will be a little bit warmer the next few days, and then we are looking at decent rain chances by Sunday. Now look at that 7-day forecast just after the break.
Well, you've heard of Elf on a Shelf, but do you get this joke right here? This one is from our friends at the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Pam on a Dam.
I love it.
That's a good one. Pam from The Office.
Well, this joke inspired our producer Carly and our iTeam video producer St. Julian to come up with some more jokes for us to enjoy. Okay, look, we have banana on the savannah.
I like that one.
There we go.
Oh, no. Okay, we have not seen these yet, by the way. Will on a bit. I kind of like that one.
Okay. What is this?
Quarter on a quarter.
What? Oh, this is I skipped ahead one.
Yeah, which
reporter
one?
on a quarter.
Reporter on a quarter.
Oh, mud on
look, and that's why Mully and Hamilton. That's mutt on a butt.
I saw that one in the works earlier.
Oh, what is that?
You got that one.
That's an
Say it. I want you to say it.
pod
There
on
you go.
broad. There we go.
Will on a bill. My mom called me Will Bill growing up. all
like
the time,
okay,
so
I
it
think,
fits perfectly.
but we need to go reporter on a quarter. Like that's how you have to say that one. So I delivered that one incorrectly because I hadn't seen it yet.
Hey, we have to give all the credit to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers.
I know,
though.
they inspired
They
this.
inspired all of that.
I like Mutts on a Butt.
That was a good
my
one.
favorite one.
Absolutely. All those were fantastic. I would say Carly, Saint, well
Congratulations.
done. We're going to give you a
Excellent
slap
work,
for that one.
guys.
That was good stuff. Hey, we got some nice weather the next couple of days, but looking at a chance for rain Sunday.
All right, thanks for sticking with us. We have more news, weather, and sports coming up after a short
And
break.
send us your memes if you come up with any of them. And if they're Augusta-centric, that's especially good.
A game of